Good evening and salutations, my GH fans, and happy Thanksgiving. So, going into this episode, well, one, I can tell you right off the bat that if you missed this episode, you really didn't miss too much of anything. If you did watch it, I wonder what's going on with Gloria, and I think the guy's name was Uncle Pete or something, or Aunt something. I think the guy's name was Uncle Pete. Whatever is going on, Gloria is keeping a secret from Lois and the family at this point. Now, Lois, she didn't annoy me, but it was like maybe she just is not superstitious, I guess, because she kept saying, "Oh, everything's gonna go right, and it's gonna go right, and everything's gonna." I was like, Lois, everything's good. You can kind of just shh. Everyone else is nervous because everyone else is sitting there waiting for them to have something f up so they can sit there and order pizza like they usually do every year, and right towards the end everything seemed like it was going well, and Lois was like, "Oh well, everything's gonna go fine," and people were just like, "Shh." Then they get a fire alarm. Well, I mean, the smoke detector went off. So clearly, they're gonna be having pizza again. Now it's kind of weird because it's like this episode seemed like it was very somewhat self-contained. I don't feel like when Monday episode starts, they're not gonna have any of this going on. I doubt that. That's why for me, even when I saw Blaze at the Davis's house, there for Christine, it was like it's not going to really go anywhere. I mean, at least this part of it is not going to go anywhere. Emma came to cheer up Anna, which you know me, I don't really like when characters show up just to show up. It's usually for fan service because I know a lot of people's like, "Oh my god, I can't wait for Emma to be there. I hope it's Robin's there." And I'm just like, are they actually going to be like something integral to the story? Because if they're not, them showing up is just pointless to me. But I was happy that she was there. I was more happy that she was there because, to be honest, I got tired of her moping. I got tired of Vanna's moping at this point. Um, I know she feels this guilt towards shooting Charlotte, but I'm like, well, you know what? Charlotte shouldn't be in there breaking into houses. Okay, that's something else I'm gonna sit there and talk about. Charlotte is really pissing me off with her whole victim mentality of, "Oh, I was just there to sit there and do something, and she shot me on purpose." I'm like, well, your little ass shouldn't have been in her damn house then. Like, that's serious. I honestly tell you the truth, you're playing a game and F around and find out, and you found out with a bullet. You're alive and you're walking around and everything like that. I'm over it at this point. But of course, she goes on and on and on. Anna's a bad person. Victor was just meant to trying to warn us, blah, 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 blah. And I sit there and I look at Valentine. I'm like, here's the thing, you didn't just mess up because you've been an absentee father. You messed up because you and every adult around her have done nothing but coddle this chick. Okay? This is why she felt bold enough to sit there and put snakes in Ava's purse. Come on. Are you kidding me? And have y'all learned nothing from that? Now we're at a point where she gets shot, and I'm like, Valentine, you need to start cracking the whip at this point because this is ridiculous. Okay? Um, Laura's like, oh well, she's just being a teenager, she's just rebelling, and like, maybe you need to sit there and send her to a tougher boarding school or something. I mean, after she faces the consequences that she faces, which everyone keeps trying to shield her from, but after the consequences, she needs to sit there and go to a very stern, hard boarding school because yeah, that's what she needs. You know, I get where Sasha's coming from. At first I was kind of irked a little bit when she said that, listen, I'm just not ready to jump into a relationship because I'm just like, all right, well, let's sit there and see how long you can sit there and stall this before they eventually wind up getting together. But then I sit there and I take a look at it and I'm like, what, listen, I get it. Grief has no timetable, right? But here's the thing. You need therapy at this point. Like, seriously. All the stuff that wound up happening to her, I don't think she ever really actually went to therapy for her grief. She might have went to counseling for her, we'll sit there and say, habit, but she never really went to grief therapy. She never really went to therapy for her grief, you know? And again, I always sit there and say this. I'm a huge, um, I don't know sit there and say a fan, but I'm huge into therapy. And I'm not just saying that therapy is a cure all or whatever, but it's a tool. And I don't feel like enough people use it because of either pride. Um, but sometimes as adults, we can't sit there and handle everything. Okay? And we try to, eventually we want to crack it. That's just the truth of the matter. As much as I like to sit there and give this persona, I guess, of being Superman, I know that I can't handle everything by myself. I just can't. As much as I want to, God, trust me, I want to. I know I can't handle everything on my own. And I think that's what Sasha needs. Or just in a situation like that, that's what you need. Because she's right. Brando wouldn't want that. And, she feels guilty for, she talked about how she felt guilty even, exactly, I can't remember exactly what it was, but something about she felt guilty for something in therapy. Now, Yuri's there. I couldn't tell, was he crying because he was cooking something with onions, or was he crying because he missed Terry? Well, let's just be honest. I kind of sat there and I was just like, what was the point of putting them together if you don't even really sit there and show them being together? Like, what was the point of that? You know, it's something that does kind of bother me to some extent. Because, they always sit there and they talk. A lot of these networks and shows always sit there and talk about representation, right? And granted, I'm not one of those people that generally tends to virtual signal, but one, you didn't let Brad. I don't know what happened to Brad at this point. And granted, yeah, they're gonna probably do something with Christina and Blaze. So I can't sit there and say that this is some sort of bias towards the LGBT, but I just don't understand. You put this chick in the opening credits, but you don't really use her in the sense of any sort of romantic relationship. The last one she had with the actor, with the other dude, I don't know, he left. Now you have this. Now you have this other chance to sit there and do something with her, and we barely see him go on dates. We barely see him do anything. It's like, what the hell? Like I said, I can't sit there and say this is some sort of bias towards the LGBT because you clearly are going to put Christina and Blaze together. So I don't know what the hell was going on, but something doesn't feel right. I'll sit there and say that, but something doesn't feel right. And I generally don't like to sit there and have statements talking about my feelings because I usually like to have facts behind them. But maybe it's a spider sense or something. I don't know. I feel like that's pretty much about it. Like whenever they started putting stuff like there's a scene where they're sitting there asking TJ, what's going to be your specialty, what field you're going to go into. I'm kind of just like, does anyone care? I mean, honestly, tell you the truth, we want it to be a good story, wherever direction he's going, but it's like, oh, we got to sit there and see what TJ's going to pick. It's like, why? Why? Y'all just throw that in there just to sit there and run down the clock or something? Why? I don't know. Jordan was there talking about her new position. Okay, that's cool. I guess whatever. Um, I can't really think of anything else that wound up happening because, yeah, I can't really sit there and think of it. Anyway, before I do sit there and wrap this up, I do want to sit there and, I sent this in my community tab so you can read it when you get a chance, but, I am thankful for the people that do watch my videos. Even if you don't always agree with what I say, and trust me, I know I could sit there and say some wild stuff, but it's just how I feel. But even when you don't agree with me, I appreciate you watching. I appreciate the comments. Even if I don't always get to them, I do appreciate it because I do sit there and try to read them as much as possible. Um, and I appreciate people that come to the live stream. I also appreciate the members who've been, you know, supporting the channel and everything like that. That's not to saying everyone else doesn't, but you know exactly what I'm talking about. I do want to sit there and thank the members for supporting the channel because I really don't think I could sit there and do this without y'all. The live streams will be starting back up tomorrow. I was feeling a little kind of. I wasn't to say I was feeling kind of sick, but I was a little kind of sore. It's not as bad now, but it wasn't exactly great. This morning when I woke up. So everything goes well. I should be good to go for tomorrow's live stream, and if everything works out, may have a double live stream on Saturday, one for everyone, and then one for the members only. But I will sit there and keep people posted in case, things fall through or whatever. Can't really think of anything else. So I'm going to go. I do want to thank everyone for watching. Stay safe. I'll see you in the next video.